Dog.
First and foremost, like I discovered you as an artist and with music through a homie named Kai. So shout out that nigga Kai for real.
Yeah, Kaiser Tune.
Yeah, me and him used to work at Tommy's and shit.
Oh, shit.
That was a whole another era. But the first thing I noticed about your discography, like if you go through it, is that it shifts and it changes into something completely different. Was that like, did you always have that sound in your bag, or was that something you're like, damn, I really wanna have that sound, and I gotta work to achieve it type shit? Like, how did that come about? Like, where'd that come from?
Damn, yeah, shit, bro. That I'm gonna be honest. I always was like, even before I was like Rockstar Kenzo, I had like 2 other aliases before that, and even then, I was always experimenting with like those distorted like rock vocals. I spent a lot of my time earlier like looking up to like X.
That
When X was alive, that's what
a lot of people have.
Yeah, yeah, like a lot of X, a lot of Lil Peep.
Yeah.
And like that's when I was playing around with it in that SoundCloud era. And then like, you know, as you get older, you kind of have to like adapt. So like then I start like trying to find a way to be classier with it or cleaner with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's when, you know, I start creating that sound. Like if you listen to my songs, it's like more like R&B
Mm-hmm.
with rock vocals.
Exactly.
So that's where I kind of like got that from.
You know, like I went back and listened. I think your earliest is in 2021. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Right.
But the first thing I noticed, for lack of a better term, I was like, oh, this is like Nola drill. The lyrics,
shit.
the lyrics are like drill music, but of course,
And which one you said it was?
it's got that twist. Like I think your project in 2021. Forgive me, I don't remember the name.
No, you good. You good.
But because I went through it as a timeline, and then I was like, oh shit, this is bleeding into something.
Tornado Twins. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is bleeding into like, kind of like when I first heard it, I was like, this is kind of elements of something The Weeknd would make early on during that EXO phase. I was like, oh, that's kind of dope, especially geographically, considering in New Orleans, like, I don't think I've heard niggas sound like that locally. So I was like, oh, this is cool. I was like, okay, cool. I fuck with the uniqueness for real.
Yeah.
And the whole theme around it. But that transition though, did you feel like it affected your audience, or did you feel like it kind of affected you as an artist, even yourself? Was it like or was it kind of something that was just smooth transition? It was like, man, nigga, I've always wanted to do this, so like it was so seamless. Or are you still ironing out the kinks type shit? You know what I'm saying?
You know, actually, I feel like I'm still trying to figure that out, cause when I made that switch, there was like a dip in who listened at first, cause it was like, what is this? This is like
right as that's gonna happen.
Yeah, but then like then I start like gaining attraction again, but then I'll come out of nowhere and like rap again. And then it's like the people that wanted that are gonna come back. The people that didn't want that are gonna leave. It's like a weird like divide, and I'm trying to figure out how to like blend them together.
And I think once you do, that's when it's gonna be like, it'll click.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because now it's like you're versatile and you do both. And I fuck with that. But some people, it's just the God honest truth. They're not gonna fuck with that. They're gonna be like, we want old Kenzo. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But now that you're on this new wave, I'm like, y'all just wait, because I can see that it's like you're figuring it out. That shit, you know what I mean? I love seeing that in like upcoming artists. I'm like, they haven't figured it out yet, but when they do, nigga, like, there you go.
I feel like I might be just not figuring it out, because there's like a weird blend of music that I'm making right now. It's like an R&B super trap, and it's like I feel like I'm starting to just realize how to maybe give everything in one package.
It's gonna be exciting, but not even to pivot, but to go in the music process though. Because like as artists, all of us have different ways of how we create our art, right? Everyone's got a workflow. Everyone's got a way that they do things. So I was curious. My first thing was like, well, how did it affect his music process of how he makes the shit that he makes? Because it's 2 different genres, seemingly. They both have different sounds. So is it one of those things where is it 2 different processes, or is it just like, I just do the same shit and it works? Because like, say for instance, you gotta work on vocals instead for the new sound that you're doing now. Like you start with vocals, whereas before you start with drums.
Right.
Or maybe you do the melody now. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Is it the same, or is it kind of like 2 different avenues?
It's like I guess it'd be like neither one of those. Like that process for me is like really strange, because I kind of just go with whatever I'm gonna do in the moment.
Bro, yeah.
If I'm hearing a certain sound, like I might be in the middle of like recording my vocals, and then I hear a certain sound in the beat, and I'm like, okay, I want to make this sound to enhance that sound, so that like creates a different soundscape, and then I kind of just do that in the moment, and we'll get back to those vocals after. But I need to get this down while I'm thinking about it.
I feel you. I call that like when that happens with me.
Yeah.
I call it just like sometimes you can just see it.
Yeah.
Really, you hear it, but I like to say sometimes you just see it because you see the vision of where you want to take that off of just a sound alone, and it's kind of like, oh shit, okay. And sometimes, for me personally, just the chime in, for me, like it kind of fucks up the workflow a little bit sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I'll be working on one thing and then I hear a sound and I'm off to a whole nother thing. I'm like, damn, well now I kind of split it off. And sometimes I just need to focus on one thing. Which do you struggle with that? Does that sound like something that happens to you? Like you'll hear a sound and then you're like, oh shit, hold on, I'm on a whole new wave now. Hold on, what the fuck? And either you do like a beat switch, or you just like, well fuck it, I'm gonna start a whole nother. I'm on different timing.
Yeah, no, that's exactly like, bro. I was making this song. It just came out. It's called Zoning, and
which if you haven't heard, like go
check
listen
that
to. For real. No, for real.
But it's like I was recording it, and at first I was rapping. I was rapping on that song, and then I was like, but you know what? Because it sampled "The Zone" by The Weeknd. That's one of my favorite songs of all time.
You know what? I didn't even catch it. And it's funny that I said it was early, like weekend shit, and I was just like, "That's
matter of
okay,
fact." When you had said that, when you was talking about the Toronto earlier, that's like if I could like compare it to anything, it would be like I'm gonna give like three things you can mix together. Probably like Wayne,
okay,
Toronto. Like all Toronto.
Just that Toronto sound.
Mainly The Weeknd, but all Toronto. You could say all Toronto.
And I'm a huge P&D fan, by the way.
P&D as well.
Like, I'm a huge, like, that nigga Party Next Door does not get enough credit.
Never misses.
I'm
inspired.
1, 2, and 3. That's all I gotta say.
I feel like I'm really inspired by the way he creates his sound. Like he plays around with sound design. He's a genius. Like
no, for real.
Like that was crazy. But he's really so unrecognized. But yeah, P&D, and the last thing I would probably say is like just a lot of shoegaze, punk, rock bands like if I could think about the best example, my favorite band of all time, Pierce the Veil.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's ill. Okay.
Yeah. That's probably what I could compare my sound to the most.
Okay. To go on with what about the writing process though? Because do you consider them different lyrics? So when I listen to it, I'm like, okay, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
The lyrics are the same somewhat, but it also goes down a whole nother, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So for the writing process, is it something where before maybe you write, because I know for me, sometimes I write like 4 bars at a time. I write 4 bars and I'll walk away, smoke, do what the fuck, go away, and then I'll come back and I'll attack it from a different angle. Yeah. Is it the same way when you do the vocals for your new shit, or is that process kind of changed, not even matured, but just like evolved into something else?
All right, stay with me here. Okay. We about to go on like a brick.
I love hearing the process of how niggas like create their shit. Yeah. For real.
You gotta keep me on track as well, because I might lose it.
I got you.
So starting from like, depending on what type of song I'm making, usually when I'm rapping, like sometimes when I'm rapping, I say like 50% of the time when I'm rapping.
Okay.
I'm rapping just having fun. So I'm not gonna talk about nothing in those songs. But that's that. When I'm actually focused on a song, I'm a really big like storyteller. There has to be a plot. Absolutely. And there has to be, I feel like every first line of the song has to be some crazy shit. I gotta hook you in. For you to be like, why did he say that? Let me hear him out.
Okay.
So like I treat each song like a story. And sometimes I'll write, but a lot of the time I like to just go in, like don't let me hear the beat, don't let me hear anything, let me walk in fresh.
Okay.
And we gonna, whatever I hear right now, whatever emotion I'm in, I'm gonna get that melody first, then I'm gonna put some lines to it that means something deep, that correlates with that. and that's where we'll start from.
I fuck with that. Okay, I can feel that, and that's even something. Shit, you might have put me on game. So something maybe I need to do. Maybe I need to be like, all right, I gotta attack this from a different angle.
Yeah.
But like for me, like it's that beat. Like minute that you fucking hear it, I'm like, I bet. I know how I'm gonna attack this. Like I'm gonna attack this in a way. I'm going for this vibe or this vibe or this vibe. A lot of me is just like metaphors. A lot of it.
Right.
Metaphors. Most of it just sports related, to be completely honest.
What type of vibe you on? Like what?
Me?
Yeah.
A lot of the shit that I make, I do it for fun. To be completely honest with you. Like eventually, like I'll drop, but it's one of those things where I'm really heavy into like, shit. I mean everybody is, but like that Griselda sound right now.
Ooh.
Like it's like.
That's interesting.
It's like everybody wants to do that sound now, which is fine.
Yeah,
I'm completely fine with that because that sound is so fucking ill. But another like inspiration for me is like, and you might not even hear it in terms of like my flow or my pitch or my tone or however I say things I come across. But Boldy James, like
Boldy James,
that to me that nigga right now is at least top 3.
What do you sound like? I never.
A lot of it's just boom bap. Like really,
you like
really grimy, really.
Yeah, you like
like
I was gonna say something crazy.
Griselda,
like, it's like slum music.
I mean,
no, not to degrade it, but I'm saying it's gritty, like
That a lot of course, like West Side Gun right now is doing crazy. Benny is crazy.
I was gonna say
all
like
those Griselda niggas like that. Yeah, a lot. I'm so glad a lot of niggas found them because it's like they were gonna blow regardless. I'll be honest with you. It was just gonna be.
Is Freddie Gibbs technically
Yeah, you can add Freddie in there. Not with those Griselda niggas, but yeah, you can. It's the same.
You wouldn't say Griselda?
In terms of like them together, no. But in terms of like their sound, sure.
Yeah, I'll probably just lump them in. Okay.
Yeah. Each of them though experiment and do different sounds, but still remaining to their core sound. How they do it is so fucking ill. How they just like, all right, I'm gonna give y'all the same sound, but I'm gonna change it just a little bit, just to
give you something.
You hear that motherfucker, and you're like, damn, like
we can't keep letting them get away with this.
I can go on. Benny's On the Radar freestyle that he did. If you haven't heard that shit, I'm just like, yeah, there we go. Some of those on the radar, not to throw shade, but like it's it's cool, it's fun.
Yeah.
That nigga Benny though. That's how you spit. To pivot, what really put me on notice for you, to go in a different way, but your visuals. Ooh. Like, I'm a really big person on the visual looks for it, the theme. I like people building characters. I like people that build worlds. Right. That shit to me is ill as fuck. That really is what determines artistry for me in a sense, and not fully, but you know what I mean. Where I'm just like, all right, like if you keep doing that, it's gonna unlock something. You had that one photo shoot with you in like the gray suit, the white background, and the magazines. Yeah. I saw the shit. I was like, oh, that's so ill. Like that made me feel like you're playing this, not playing the characters and like your personality, but you're trying to have us enter into this world that you're building. I thought that was cool as fuck.
Yeah.
The Alice in the Wonderland music video, which if you haven't seen, you gotta go see. Like all things considered, for how many views it has, like it was a very good video. Yeah. It's well thought out. How hands-on are you with anything visually? Photo ops, with music videos, hell, just like little visuals. Are you kind of taking the backseat a little bit and just hoping the kind of director knows what you're saying? Or are you like, no, it has to look like this?
I'm a real, it has to look like this.
Okay.
Like, I'm a stickler for everything because everything that I'm doing, whatever it is, whatever color I'm using, is even down to that. Whatever I'm using, it has to correspond with what's going on. It's really strange because I'm also a graphic designer.
Okay. So
I do something really strange. Every time I'm working on a body of work, I create a brand guide for it. Each thing is like a product that it's a special thing. I gotta gift wrap it. Mm-hmm. So everything that I do it has to be intentional. These things that I'm using these certain colors to highlight this, to give you a certain mood. That's how far deep in the creative control I am with it.
Bet.
Now I can't do everything myself, so this is stuff that I gotta communicate with others. And I be a real stickler for things like that.
Okay, like a perfectionist.
Yeah.
Me, I'm a perfectionist when it comes to this shit. Like it's gotta look a certain way. Like it has to be like this. And sometimes that even like prevents me from putting shit out.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, fuck it. Like it's not translating from here to there and how it looks. I'm almost too nice though sometimes. In terms of like being firm, kind of with like I want it to look like that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now there's certain people like I work with that I'm like, I trust that you know what I'm looking for.
Right.
Because it's like I've seen their work. Like I'm very confident they're like it's gonna come out good.
Yeah.
But sometimes, especially when I was in film school, like 2019, like we'll shoot some shit and they'll be like, all right, let's move on. And I kind of had to learn to be like, no. Like you gotta shake that fear of kind of being an asshole, of kind of looking like a bad person, and kind of gotta be selfish. Like as artists, we're naturally selfish. Do you feel that like sometimes you can be too nice, or you just like, nah, fuck that shit. We gonna get this. We gonna get this look.
I was too nice.
It happens.
That's why I kind of just moved into the realm of like, I'm gonna work with the people I trust, and that's all I work with. I don't go look for anything else besides the people that's right here in my whatever. Cause all of us have the skills, like we all have them. One does this, and this. One does that. We all come together and we can just provide that for each other.
Building a team, yeah,
right,
is like super important. So I mean, with that, like even we can go into in terms of balancing like your time as well, along with the team that you're building.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you got, I believe you're in school, right? So you got school, relationships, personal projects, along with if you work a job, you know what I mean? Like I know plenty of people out there working like 9 to 5s, you know, including me. So it's like sometimes it can get in the way of personal projects and certain your schedule. I know that can fuck up a lot of people's creative process. But for you, have you felt like you've kind of found something to go over those obstacles, or is there something that you're still trying to figure out yourself? Do you got any tips for anybody out there that's just like, how do you balance it all?
Yeah.
Because it can be overwhelming sometimes, nigga. Like, it really can be.
Oh, man. Shoot.
It seems like you make it work.
Yeah.
This is what I'm trying to say. That's why I'm asking you. I'm like, it seems like you know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah, that's the goal, is to like make it seem on paper. That's the only advice I can really give. I'm gonna go into the other stuff, but advice while I got it, like just make it seem like, you know, just don't freak out publicly. Don't let nothing get to your head. Just if it, you know, I lost it. But to answer the other things, balancing the time, school, all of that, man, it's tough. I don't know what I'm doing.
The funny shit is it be like that sometimes.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of like, fuck, like you kind of feel like you just, almost like you in space. You kind of just floating around and you're like, fuck, I don't know what to do next. But then you kind of just fall into that next thing and you're like, oh shit, okay, cool. And then that's when you just, you know when you just get on your shit?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know when you have like a fresh 2 weeks where you're just like, I bet. And either that's like, you're super productive. Like you got, you know, a performance coming up, you're popping out to this event, you writing, you doing songs, like every day you just doing something. And then sometimes you have 2 weeks periods where you're just like, what the fuck am I doing?
And you know,
like, what is going on?
You know what could really make you seem like you just going and going and going? I don't have a lot of big culminating events like right next to each other. But what you do is you collect all of the content, break it up, and now you can like hold yourself over, or just post them in between things, and now it looks like you have something going on every
Make
time.
it stretch out.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta kind of put it on paper to be like, I'm doing shit, but really, like you kind of not.
Yeah.
But I mean, the only thing that you can do and trust is like, I know I'm gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? Like I know I'm gonna be good. Where you just gotta keep working through it. Just keep working. That's my advice, really. Where it's like it's gonna seem like you're like, fuck. You know what I'm saying? It kind of fucks you up because you feel like you're being lazy or like you're not doing enough. But then. Last question, really, that I wanted to ask was, what's next? Like, what you got going on? Like, what's in the vault? If you want to say anything, if you don't have to say anything. But just like, what's going on? What you cooking?
Oh man, the next thing, I'm working on this beautiful album.
Okay. Do we have a date?
No.
No date. That's fine.
It is gonna be out this year.
Bet.
Like this is gonna be my first debut album. Okay. I'm gonna do it myself. independent.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what I'm working on mainly.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the listening part is for that I was
Okay.
telling you about earlier.
Bet.
And just a lot of new singles. I'm just moving in a certain direction now that I feel like this is gonna be the one.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes you just know. Sometimes you feel it. Just like, all right, this is gonna hit. But yeah, appreciate everything. Thank you for the interview. First and foremost,